brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from the Churches Health Association of Zambia, CHAZ.
The National Institute of Public Administration, NIPA, is proud to present the Bachelor of Arts in Defense and Security program. This program is ideal for Defense Force personnel, security service professionals, and the general public. To enroll in this program, you need 5 credits in English, mathematics, and any other 3 subjects. To enroll, apply directly online via nipasis.nipa.ac.zm or download an application form from our website www.nipa.ac.zm. Contact the administration office at 0767 670 985. NIPA, where excellence meets probity.
The National Health Insurance Management Authority, NEMA, hereby informs the public that with effect from the 1st of January 2024, the buyback option will no longer be available. This means that newly registered NEMA members will not be able to simply pay for the previous 4 months as means of gaining immediate access to NEMA insured health services. Instead, they will be required to undergo a 4-month waiting period from date of registration, during which they're expected to make 4 consecutive monthly contributions for their NEMA accounts to be activated for use. Register and start contributing today. Don't wait until you fall sick. National Health Insurance, leaving no one behind.
NEMA Health Insurance. Protect your family.
Wow, that over there is a very nice Ford. Have you seen it?
Of course. I have been looking at it since we got here. My worry is how people manage such vehicles and where they buy genuine parts from.
I'm sure there's nowhere else apart from Shuma Auto Parts. They are the only supplier of genuine Ford and Mazda parts, which comes straight from the manufacturer. Everything in stock for both latest and ordinary Mazda and Ford. Also stock service parts such as diesel filters, aircon filters, diesel pumps, steering pumps, turbochargers, engine overhaul gaskets, suspension parts, and body parts. If they don't have parts you're looking for, they can order with 5 to 10 working days. To top it up, Shuma Auto Parts also supply Maxxis tires and CST tires.
Really? But where are they found?
They are found on Chandram Sonda Road, Cruiser Auto Workshop in Lusaka. Call on 0979 192057 and 0960747235. Email shumaautoparts@gmail.com. Shuma Auto Parts for all your genuine vehicle parts.
The happy world of 5FM Radio, your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM main news at 18:30 with Judith Mwape. The headlines. Commencement of constitutional amendments hinges on fiscal space. World Bank approves $270 million grant to boost transport and trade between Zambia and Tanzania. SA government to use foreign reserves to pay off debt. And now the news in detail. The government has disclosed that it will commence the process of amending the constitution, and delimitation exercise will be considered once the fiscal space allows. Vice President Mutalena Lumango has told Parliament that amendment to the constitution is a costly undertaking which has huge financial implication on the Treasury. The Vice President was responding to a question from Msanzala Member of Parliament Elias Daka, who wanted to know whether the government plans to delimitate some constituencies prior to the 2026 general elections. Ms. Nalumango has clarified that there is need to amend Article 68, Sub-Article 2 of the Constitution in order to implement the recommendations of the delimitation of constituencies. She has indicated that the implementation of the recommendation on the delimitation of constituencies is not legally tenable without amending the Constitution.
The executive stands ready to present a bill to Parliament for amendment of Article 68.2. However, such amendment must contain other provisions requiring revision in order to cut down on the cost of the whole process. Once the fiscal space allows, government through the Ministry of Justice will commence the process of amending the Constitution, and the limitation will be considered if the people of Zambia agree that such matter be dealt with.
Finance Minister Stumbeko Msokotwane has welcomed the approval of a $270 million grant by the World Bank for improvement of transport and trade between Tanzania and Zambia under the Transport Corridors for Economic Resilience project. Dr. Msokotwane says the gesture by the World Bank is a powerful affirmation of the confidence that it has in not only development policies but also in the regional integration initiatives such as the project in question that are pursued in collaboration with the neighboring countries. He says the grant also marks a significant commitment by the World Bank and the Zambian government to improve connectivity to East African sea coasts and boosts regional trade and transport integration. The minister says transport-related gridlock caused by years of infrastructure disrepair and divided attention to efficiency requirements in their quest for economic resilience. This is contained in a statement issued to 5FM News by Ministry of Finance and National Planning Office of the Secretary to the Treasury. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has announced that the overall count of registered voters on the National Register has increased from 7,223,499 to 7,036,862. Out of this number, 3,757,115 are females, while 279,747 are males. Speaking during the certification of the Register of Voters today, Commission Chief Electoral Officer Brown Casaro says this certification means that the 13,363 who registered during the period June to December 2022 are eligible to vote in elections that will be conducted with effect from today. He explains that this register of voters replaces all previous registers and shall remain in force until a new register of voters is prepared and certified. Mr. Casaro has also highlighted that the Commission registered a total of 28,728 voters from January 2023 to December 2023. He says this provisional data will be subjected to inspection. Thereafter, the Commission will certify the register of voters for those who registered in 2023 on 30th July 2024.
This register of voters replaces all previous registers and shall remain in force until a new register of voters is prepared and certified. Let me also highlight that the Commission registered a total of 28,728 voters from January 2023 to December 2023. This provisional data will be subject to inspection. Thereafter, the Commission will certify the register of voters for those who registered during this period on 30th July 2024.
The country has, in the last 24 hours, recorded 0 deaths from cholera outbreak, with 115 new cases recorded. The number of deaths remains at 682, with a cumulative number of new cases increasing to 19,719 since October 2023. 134 persons are still admitted, while 129 have been discharged, bringing the cumulative number of discharges to 18,903 since October 2023. Police have detained Dixon Mwensu, a driver for causing death by dangerous driving, involving one fatality and 2 serious injured persons. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga explains that the incident occurred today around 0710 hours along Alik Nkata Road near the traffic lights of Kudu Junction. Mr. Hamonga explains that brief facts of the matter are that the accident is alleged to have occurred when the driver of the motor vehicle, which was approaching from the direction of east to west, had a brake failure which resulted in the driver hitting the deceased and the other 2 injured persons who were walking off the road. He says the vehicle had its front windscreen shattered and front side of the bumper damaged.
Brief facts for the matter are that the accident is alleged to have occurred when the driver of the vehicle, which was approaching from the direction of east to west, had a brake failure, which resulted in the driver hitting the deceased and 2 injured persons who were walking off the road. The body of the deceased has since been deposited in University Teaching Hospital mortuary, awaiting postmortem and burial.
Another story is trending. The Christian Churches Monitoring Group has appealed to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, to release its roadmap and calendar for key electoral activities as the 2026 general elections draws near. The government plans to establish an evidence laboratory partnership with the International Growth Center, an international organization that works with policymakers in developing countries to improve inclusive and sustainable growth through path-breaking research. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
President Hakainde Hichilema has challenged cabinet ministers to be proactive in amending legislation which hinders the country's economic expansion agenda. President Hichilema says cabinet ministers should be in the forefront of changing laws to facilitate economic expansion, which will create jobs, increase business opportunities, and social support. The president says there are some rigidities in the public procurement laws which needs to be amended in order to quell economic expansion in the country. The head of state notes that government's economic expansion is reliant on investments in various sectors such as mining, agriculture, energy, manufacturing, and tourism. President Hichilema said this when he launched the resumption of the mandatory public service training and certification in Lusaka today.
So I've only isolated the importance of legislation to be changed to facilitate economic expansion. That's not complicated. It's very simple. But we need to be conscious about it. When we return the process, I see your focus sectors here. Our focus sectors, mining, manufacturing, tourism, agriculture. I know we have many sectors. Before we close the workshop, I want us to add energy because energy supports all of these things. And with this drought, we have 2 critical challenges in the country now: food security, energy security. And to unlock food security, we need to irrigate. To irrigate, we need energy.
That ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And now in foreign news. The South African government has announced that it's tapping into its foreign reserves to try to reduce its enormous debts. The unusual move was announced by the Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana as he gave his budget speech in Cape Town. South Africa's current borrowings are the highest since 1947 2047, and more money is spent servicing the debts than on education and health. The opposition has accused the governing ANC party of trying to sway voters ahead of the general election in May, which could see the party lose its majority for the first time since the end of apartheid 30 years ago. Here's a roundup from the BBC.
The British Defence Secretary has said the government has absolute confidence that the UK's nuclear deterrent remains effective and dependable, despite the second failure in a row of a test firing of a missile designed to carry nuclear warheads. Grant Shapps said that an anomaly occurred during the test. The malfunction happened off the east coast of the United States. A large number of Russian troops are believed to have been killed in an apparent Ukrainian strike on a Russian army training site in an occupied part of the eastern Donetsk region. The BBC's Russian service says that estimates, including by members of the brigade attacked, suggest at least 60 Russian soldiers were killed. Protesting Indian farmers say one person has been killed in clashes with police as the farmers attempt to march to Delhi, demanding guaranteed prices for their produce. The farmers say dozens of people have been injured in the continuing standoff. A lawyer for the US government has urged a court in Britain to block the final appeal by the WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange against his extradition to the United States.
And finally, in sports news, manager Thomas Tuchel will leave Bayern Munich at the end of the season. The 50-year-old replaced Julian Nagelsmann at the German champions in March 2023 on a deal until June 2025. But the former Chelsea boss will depart a year earlier than planned as part of a sporting realignment at Bayern. He led Bayern to last season's Bundesliga title after taking over in the spring, but they now sit 8 points behind leaders Bayern Leverkusen after back-to-back league defeats. Another weather report brought to you by Classic On.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chineka Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Northern Province, including the northern parts of Luapula and Muchinga provinces, are partly cloudy, slightly windy and mild, with a chance of isolated rain. The rest of the country has few clouds, slightly windy and warm to mild. That ends the weather report.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chineka Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
And that weather report brings us to the end of the news this evening. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Commencement of constitutional amendments hinges on fiscal space. World Bank approves $270 million grant to boost transport and trade between Zambia and Tanzania. South African government to use foreign reserves to pay off debt. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. I'm Judith Mwabe. Good evening.